outside. You gotta get off of it, I think. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's better. Good morning, good morning.
Yeah.
Morning, everyone.
Morning, morning, morning.
Morning. Sent you the website.
I really hope there's like a Jello making competition, like a full hand encased in green Jello. There used to be weird Jello sculptures. That's my favorite thing about the 50s.
So, and it sends you back to the receipt.
How are you?
Good, good. Good. Yeah. And then you pay by
And then
check.
she gave me the link.
Yeah. Oh. Hello, everybody.
Hello, Peter.
Some
How
minutes
are
to
you?
read over again. The hard copy.
This is so cool.
It's a fun time.
I'm going to show you this later because they sent me that email utility.
It was a pajama party.
We're in the process of doing that. We bought,
They will save you a portion.
well, we just, it takes a little bit to build it out,
I think it's more like
but we have Tyler,
from the
this
cello.
company that this county's been using, and we're in the process of building it out. We're,
You know, it's sort of like.
hello.
I got one.
You'll be able to get your bills online.
Man, the weather's
You'll be able to go online.
week is
We're putting in remote
during the
readings.
day and 50s at
We're
night.
good.
Earlier we went
Just put in remote readings.
we're at the car show. We're just like, oh, this is
And
melting.
I'm trying to do about 6,000 meters this year. Some we can retrofit because they're newer and we can put a new head on them. If they're within 10 years old, and then a guy can drive down the block within 6 blocks of the meter. You don't even have to go block by block. And you get all the readings that way.
They notice it. Yeah, exactly. They don't, they just stop. Because that's how they do it.
So we're gonna have that, we'll have all that.
That'll be awesome.
We started it very soon, actually. We had a meeting with this company, and now they just had a meeting with our IT with us, and we'll be rolling pretty soon with it. And then you'll be able to go online, see your bill, pay your bill. And our next step after this is we have to retrofit the town with antennas. That'll be about
So you went
3 or 4
on a
years.
Vegas trip with your
Where
boyfriend.
the readings, you'll be able to go every 10 minutes, they update to the system, and if someone has a leak, it'll pop and you can get an email and say like, hey, you're using 100% more water than you normally use in these hours. So that's pretty cool how they got that.
Yeah, no, Fox like this. Because I'm like, I don't see nobody reading it, but I do see a city park. So we actually,
Hey, guys.
and it's him with an iPad.
The gas guy sits
Vegas has changed so much.
But that saves from going there and lifting it and looking at it.
Yes.
Crazy.
Looking at the camera, we're getting a little. Gets a
Another
little.
restaurants, shopping centers everywhere. Get in a casino, can't figure out how to get out.
All right, everybody. everybody. Good morning. Today, April 7th, 10:04 a.m. It's the monthly meeting of the Stormwater Advisory for the Town of Cicero. We'll call to order the meeting. We'll do a roll call. Commissioner Mario.
Here.
Commissioner Tom.
Here.
Commissioner Larry.
Here.
Commissioner Steve. Here. Commissioner Leo's here. All present. Approval of the board minutes.
So moved. Second. Third.
All right, Commissioner Mario.
Here. Aye. Aye. Aye.
Larry, Steve. Aye. Ayes have it. Any public comments? April? No? Okay. All right. 2026 permeable LE program is just getting ready to get underway. We're bidding out 3 LEs. I think it's next week or the week after, so they'll get, the LEs will be bid out. I talked to our engineer, and I forgot if he said, did he say next week? Yeah, next week they get bid out, so we'll get rolling on that. I know we have funds that we received from MWRD for green infrastructure. We also, I haven't had an update on the Kohler Park Stormwater Detention Facility. We're still waiting for something with an update on that. That's the funds that we'll be utilizing, hopefully getting a grant through MWRD. Like we've had stuck in La La Land, we're still waiting to see if any grant funds are gonna be relinquished for our 5 projects that we gave back in September of 2024. We're still waiting on that. The town has been awarded the $96 million disaster relief funding project. Tom, would you want to talk about that now, or?
Yeah, the only update I have is that at the last town board meeting, the town formally procured the 3 different consultants, I guess it's 2, that are going to help us manage the program. ICF, who is a leader in HUD's technical assistance and training, has been hired to help us administer the town's housing program, which is the check valve installation program, as well as, overall grant management. And then ERA Consultants or ERA Engineers was hired to do the design and bidding and construction management of the permeable alley program, the underground stormwater management program, and the sewer upgrade program. I met with ICF last week. We visited the community center to take a look at 2 different classrooms over there that we're going to use as the intake center for the check valve program. Our calendar is we're anticipating a ribbon cutting and kickoff for people to start coming in to apply for the check valves in the middle of June.
Is that the same program that we have now, the 50/50? This is something different.
This is something that this will cover. We're hoping to get a waiver from HUD so we don't have to do lead-based paint testing. If HUD approves that waiver, we're going to fully fund the check valve out of DR funds. If the HUD is still going to require us to do lead-based paint testing, it'll be $5,000 from disaster recovery funds and the $2,000 from the town's check valve program to be able to fully cover the installation of the check.
The whole thing was that we wanted to have them fully funded, so this way we can get more installed completely, and the funding wouldn't be an obstacle for some of the residents who can't come up with that kind of money up front.
Sure.
Because a check valve runs about $6,000 on average.
Oh, really?
So the town's program of $2,000, the homeowner would still have to come up with 4. That could be a barrier. We want to eliminate that barrier and get as many check valves in the private sewer line as we can.
Is there, I know it came up previously, where some houses have more than one water discharge system. Some have one, some have 2 or 3. I'm just wondering, will there be an investigation when you end up with those houses that have multiple water discharge? Or do we know yet?
My assumption is that those that have, for whatever reason, multiple sewer lines, I know in the condo building I used to live into, we had 2. Those are large, 12-unit and up buildings. Those are not eligible for this program. We only go up to 3 unit. A single-family house that has multiple sewers, I think, would be so rare. We are going to require the lines get cameraed before the check valve gets put in, and if we do see that there's evidence of oddities, we'll have to take those case by case.
A lot of the single family, like the 2 flats and so, the smaller size buildings, what's more common that I found over the years is where they have a manifold where each house has one exit going out towards the sewer, and then they meet in the middle and go out to the town main. We've seen quite a few of those over the years, but for 1 flats and 2 flats, commonly when we were digging, we would basically just see the one exit with the sewer. Like Tom says though, I know a lot of the big buildings do have multiple.
Yeah, corner buildings could discharge to 2 different streets, but those
Very,
are
very uncommon with small, single family. They didn't want to pay that money when they were building them for dual. And then, Tom, do you want to talk a little too about our Springfield trip when we went to talk to the?
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago, all right?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, Lido, myself, Tim Geary, the town engineer, and Marty, who is the engineer who's been hired to do the design for the disaster recovery program. We went down to Springfield to testify on a bill that was being sponsored by State Representative Lisa Hernandez. We kind of did this a couple years ago now.
Speak up, please. We can't hear back here. Can't hear anything.
I can hear you.
Oh, thank you.
We went down to Springfield to testify in front of a committee with a bill being sponsored by State Representative Lisa Hernandez to again request state intervention to create a regional oversight entity that would require Chicago, Cicero, Berwyn, Stickney, Lyons, this grouping that share the same combined sewer system, that any stormwater projects be coordinated between all those entities to ensure that one municipality's infrastructure is not negatively affecting a neighboring municipality's infrastructure, or a project in Berwyn doesn't put more stormwater into the system that runs through Cicero. Pleased to announce that was unanimously approved through committee. It's my understanding it now has to go to a committee for the Illinois Senate. I'll anticipate us having to do a similar exercise and going down to testify in support of that bill with the Senate. If it gets moved through the Senate, then it goes to the full legislature for consideration. So I think it's needed. Because we have a combined storm sewer system and all these municipalities drain into that same system, it only makes sense that we all work together when we're either planning on upgrades of the system or adding things to the system. It only makes sense that we all consider each other.
Is that to be a taxing body?
Originally, it was a taxing body, and it was denied at the state level. This revised bill, my understanding, it has no taxing authority attached to it. It just makes it required that these neighboring municipalities are required to work together.
So what we have coming through Cicero now, if this becomes fully utilized, will that analyze the separation of what's coming through Cicero? Or somehow get involved with that issue?
I'm not sure I'm not sure I understand your question, the separation. It will require each municipality to have a stormwater master plan and to require those master plans to kind of tie in together. So we would all know if you're adding extra water at this location, what it's going to do to the rest of the system.
So
I guess my question is, what do you mean by separation?
Pardon me?
I guess my question is, what do you mean by separation?
Well, my understanding is that we've got Oak Park, Berwyn, we've got all of Chicago, parts of Chicago, all come through the stormwater through Cicero. Because it's been around for 125 years and everything was collectively done together before maybe even the separation of Cicero into the various municipalities. But now, at this stage, all that stormwater is impacting Cicero and Cicero's flooding on occasion. But we've talked about the fact that to separate it could cost billions of dollars.
Oh, so by you meaning separation, meaning separate the stormwater from the wastewater?
Yes, that, but also we have an excessive amount of stormwater when we get all the stormwater from all the municipalities coming through Cicero's piping system, if you will.
Yeah,
So there's a different approach that it would be the stormwater management plans that they would have to implement that would reduce the amount of water that would be contributed to our system.
it's my understanding that the bill as drafted is to ensure that no other municipality is going to put more water into the system without consultation and agreement from the other neighboring communities. Separating stormwater from wastewater would be the ideal solution, because stormwater doesn't have to be stored and treated and whatnot, so stormwater can flow freely. Even in torrential downpours, you may have some backup due to conveyance issues with size of sewers and gravity and how long it takes to get away from your house. But the cost of that and logistics of that, I don't even know where you would. Every street in this 10 square mile radius would be ripped up. I mean, everything would shut down. It'd be crazy. Wish we can go back in time and not have a combined storm system. So the goal is to get stormwater out of the combined system and be able to put it back in slowly to make sure that people do not have sewer backup.
So in other words, is they're creating this board so everybody can see it, stay on the same page and stay in communication before any decisions are made. That's basically what this board is.
Another concern I have is I know that the state is proposing a statewide zoning code, which would allow 4-unit buildings to be built on a 25-foot wide lot, to allow for accessory dwelling units be constructed on 25-foot lots. I would hope at the state level that they consider that every square foot of permeable ground you remove is just more water that's going to be placed into these, overtaxed as they are, storm systems. And to try to create more affordable housing, I think it could potentially be a setup to create more, dangerous is probably the wrong word, but more inadequate housing if flooding and storm sewer backups just get more frequent, and then having more residents affected by that. It's going to be an interesting time to see what that zoning
if that zoning code gets approved at the state level.
If we could hold our questions to the end. I know you missed public comment period. I'm happy to let you go, but if you could hold your questions to the end, and we'll come back to you. Okay?
Thank you.
We're almost at, actually, we're basically at the end anyway. Combined sewer cleaning and
Lido,
inspection.
can you put your mic on?
The combined sewer cleaning and TV inspection is still going on, and we're proud to say that we're almost well over a third done, and once we finish up with this last of it, we will be bidding out the next round of the cleaning and the televising. The backflow preventer program, Tom explained how we're going to piggyback if we have to, and we still are offering the 2,000, but we did see a little bit of a slowdown on them, and I know a lot of it is people are waiting for June for the Tom's program that his office will be running to roll out. I have no new business. We'll want to take audience comments, then we'll go to board member comments. Is that okay? Okay, we have audience comments?
Hi, Delia Barajas from Voces Fieles, Comunitarias contra la Opresión. I just heard Tom explain in regards, Lido, both of you, I guess, in regards to this new commission. Is this the HB 3703?
Number, I don't know.
Because that's where it talks about a new whole West Fork flooding. I didn't bring the whole bill with me, but I do have.
What were the numbers?
HB 3703. Because it was the same language you all were explaining with Oak Park, Berwyn, and so it is HB 3703, at least I have Hernandez.
Looks like HB 3703 was the one that got denied.
So this is a new one you were talking about?
Correct.
Which is that?
I do not have the number.
But there's going to be a meeting coming up, you said, with the other folks in Chicago. There's going to be a meeting.
It passed unanimously through the committee at the House level. It's my understanding it has to go to a committee at the Senate level.
It passed at the what? I'm sorry?
House of Representatives level.
And you don't have that one?
I do not have the number now.
And Lisa Hernandez is
The sponsor.
The sponsor. Okay, so I guess we could talk to her. But you mentioned a lot of something very similar about creating this whole new commission. So do the board members have that? The Stormwater board members have that? Because
My understanding was one person will be appointed
for each, right?
So it will not be these individuals, likely. It will likely be someone different.
Right, but I'm just asking, are they aware of, were they at the meeting in regards to this one you were just speaking of? But they're the board, aren't they the ones that make the decisions?
If they all attended, it would have to have been a
All of
meeting
them.
in Springfield.
So if it's the same one, my understanding, you said the one I mentioned, HB 3703, got denied, and it seems like you all are working on a new one, or passed, it already passed. But does it include the same thing as some of the same language as HB 3703? Because that bill talks about, yes, like you mentioned, one from Cicero, one from Berwyn, Oak Park, I can't remember the other one. But it's to create this whole new commission, and they would be getting paid.
And that's all gone. So
What's all gone? They will be getting, the commission's going to get paid?
The taxing body, the ability to collect taxes, all that has been removed from the language. That's my understanding of the key differences between the previous bill and the current bill. The current bill is just to create the requirement for us to work together.
And will community members be involved? We should be, we're paying taxes. You said the taxing part is out, but we as community members have that right to find out what is actually being created.
The
It'll
town,
be a body that'll be subject to the Open Meetings Act, so you'll be free to attend those.
Do you have that data? Will you contact community members?
How can we do that when
So is
We're at the
Metropolitan,
very
okay.
beginning stages.
Okay, so it's being a little here difficult. So does Metropolitan Water Reclamation, how would that work? Because I pay taxes here, so now I'm gonna have to pay into two. I have to pay into the pot for
The
Metropolitan
taxing,
Reclamation.
the taxing ability of this commission, is my understanding, has been removed. The town of Cicero is not the author of this legislation. This legislation has been sponsored by Lisa Hernandez as our state representative. She is attempting to get the municipalities in her district to cooperate with each other. I think it's a good idea. The questions you're asking, I don't think me or anyone else here has the answers of the questions that you're asking.
So you would who would you refer me to get the answers from?
I would refer you to State Representative
To Lisa Hernandez. But she's not my rep, but you would suggest we talk to her.
Then I would contact whoever your state representative is.
Okay. So I think the important thing is that we as community members, first of all, need to know, is Metropolitan Water Reclamation in support of this new bill? You don't know the number. With this new commission you all want to create, already create. We haven't created, you said, right?
We haven't created no commissions.
But there will be.
We're in support. The town of Cicero is in support.
So is Metropolitan Water Reclamation in support? Because I'm just trying to figure out, then who do we call when something is wrong? If there's already Metropolitan Water Reclamation, so they're on board? Oh, I'm sorry. Are you on board with this? This new commission?
The resolution, I'll give you, I believe it's HJ 54.
What is it? I'm sorry, let me write it down.
Look up HJR 54.
HJ?
HJ 54.
HD?
I'll give you the information
Okay. Okay.
on the ILGA website. If you look up the resolution as is written,
Uh-huh.
it would establish the commission, as they mentioned, and MWRD would be a part of that, a participating member of that, with one elected or appointed official per MWRD or park, etc. And I believe an employee, a professional from each municipality. But I'll give you the link and you can read it.
Okay. So MWRD is
They are listed as well. They are part of that commission.
right, because I remember when I asked before Metropolitan Water Commission, they were not on board with the HB 37.
And I don't know about the one that was, you said one phase was canceled. Yeah, so I don't know about that. I'm only speaking to this one.
Okay, thank you.
What we're hoping that this is what we're hoping is that bill somehow happens so we could put everybody at the table together who's utilizing the same sewer system via Cicero going to the sanitary district.
And I forgot to add one thing. I believe in the way the language is drafted, all municipalities would be required to have a stormwater master plan submitted by, I believe, January 1st of 2027. I don't quote me on the date, but it does also require each of those separate municipalities to develop their stormwater master plan, and then the group can convene to tie the master plans together to make sure that they actually work.
Okay. And I understand that the final master plan for Cicero is ready.
It's been completed, it hasn't been board approved yet, and I believe when I spoke to Marty that they were gonna be forwarding.
I think they have to submit it to MWRD first.
Yeah, and I thought from what I understood, I thought he was gonna forward it to them now, but I gotta double check with him.
Stormwater master plan, MWRD is still awaiting a copy of the plan for their review. That's from engineering.
And are you going to share that with us, with the community members, before it's finalized? Because shouldn't we be, as community members, that's still the number one complaint here, is the urban flooding that happens here. And we feel like there's no transparency until everything is done and made
When
decisions.
everything is approved and voted upon, I'm sure everyone's gonna be able to vote.
But I mean, why can't this meeting be open to the public. We are the adverse impacted folks here that live here. Should it be shared with all of us as community members?
An approved plan, yeah.
Well,
100%.
I'm approved, but I mean, why can't you have an open meeting? So, I mean, we just had a bad storm again. What was it, last week? There was an alert with the storm. And there was a lot of rain. And there was that alert for was it sewer overflows?
I got it twice. I got the notice twice.
Right.
Yeah, they issued it twice.
Yes.
It was an all clear on the first one, and then it was issued again.
It was a sewer overflow, wasn't it? Was it a sewer overflow?
It's those overflow alerts to cut down on your water usage and don't wash clothes.
Well,
That's what it's.
but, yeah, the infrastructure here is not, if you don't take showers, it's not going to do the job. So, that's why, it's just so important that people, community members, understand we should be here, all our community members. We pay taxes, we have the right to know, all of us. Shouldn't there be a public meeting for all of us to attend, so people can know what is happening?
Well, we do let everybody know what's happening. We do have our meetings, and I don't know how the stormwater, I don't know what the steps are to pass it. I don't know if they prefer it to be an approved stormwater management plan or just a idea of what it might be. I'm not sure how they would want to do it.
Who is who?
I don't know who's passes it or who's not going to pass it. I don't know.
So it's
If
not
the board,
this
I don't know
group?
I don't know if the town board is going to look at it and pass it after it's been given to sanitary district, metropolitan water reclamation, or if we're going to get it and go over it after metropolitan water reclamation goes over it or prior to it.
And then the question also is in regards to Kohler Park, that you all have it as creating this stormwater detention. How are you all, once you create this detention, is it detention pond or detention, what was it?
It's underground, it's covered.
Okay, so how are you going to, once you do that, how are you going to discharge that stormwater? All that water that's collected?
The water that's collected will slowly re-enter the town of Cicero's water system when there's room for it to enter. It'll be stored and slowly enter back into the system.
And then the other one I asked last time, and nobody gave me an answer in regards to where's the town of Cicero's assessment of all Cicero demonstrating that the north side of Cicero, where the Kohler Park is, versus the south side?
You're backwards.
Scholar Park South.
South side and the north side. Thank you for that. Where's your assessment to demonstrate to us, community members, that the south side, and actually that's the area that's flooded more than with the north side? Because I don't know, I haven't seen one, and I've seen different maps, and then I showed one last time I was here, that we're all high risk. And it seems to me, one of the maps I looked at is there's more stormwater. Flooding is on the north end.
Yeah, that was put in well before we had any.
The Kohler Park you're talking about?
That
I know
was
that.
something they've been looking at since, was it 2014 maybe? 15? And that was
13.
Oh, 13. That was well before we had a stormwater advisory board and the plan was already started by MWRD. They already started the designing phase, and that's just something else that we're looking at, since it's already something that can be done and put boots on the ground a lot quicker than anything else right now.
But there's no town assessment that we can look at, so we can, because people are asking about where is that money going. Nobody knows. I mean, you have this,
Well,
when
we
you have
didn't even, with the money from the $96 million that we received nothing yet, we didn't even start going through our projects all the way through. The first thing we started was we're going to do some LEs. We know we're going to do some
Right.
LEs. That's what
Right.
the
Explain that.
community was asking for us to do. So we are going to After that, every alley we've been doing has been green alleys for the last couple of years. So green alleys are gonna be getting done. We're gonna be putting in the flood controls, and we are gonna be doing projects, and we are gonna be looking at projects throughout the whole town. And Tom, is it gonna be put out there? Like what different projects we're looking at doing for the whole town?
Yeah,
We're not
with the
just doing
disaster,
one area.
yeah, with the disaster recovery grant, we will have multiple public outreach and public hearings for the expenditures of that $96 million. The Kohler Park project, I think, needs to be looked at completely separate, and I do recognize and understand that you take the map of the town of Cicero and it looks like someone just threw a big paint splatter on it, and,
Right.
and every area is at risk. This area,
Highly at risk.
yeah, this area next to Kohler Park is not simply sewer backup issues. There is elevation issues there. I've seen pictures from the 1950s of Austin Boulevard near that area where the water was up above the car doors. After the torrential rains of 2009, 2011, we had residents where their basement windows got burst out because the water reached a foot up the sides of their houses.
As in 2023.
So I think after those two torrential downpours, and a solution had to be figured out, and Kohler Park is a wide enough area, open space, kind of low-hanging fruit to get a large-scale project done to alleviate the on-land flooding of that 2-block, 3-block area.
I understand we're all at risk, and what you're saying could be true, but I have a lot of concerns of the decision made to do the south end of Cicero, where most of our elected officials live, versus the north end of Cicero. And I just saw this other map yesterday, and it does demonstrate there's more stormwater on the north end of Cicero. So I'm just wondering, my concern is, where is the evaluation in regards to say, okay, this is where we're putting those over $5 million, like $6 million, Pedro? It's like $6 million now, Kohler Park project?
I don't have the figure in front of me.
It was $5 million before, in 2019. So there's just a lot of concerns because decisions are made without the community. If we all work together, as we said over and over, we wouldn't be here every single month. I think it's important to engage with your community members here, even though you're the board, but we need to be at the table as well. I was looking at the hearing comments, public comments as well. I haven't seen really anything from those public comments at the hearing. I was there, and other people were there. I don't see what has been pulled, what our voices said, what was needed at the hearing for these $96 million. I've seen, there's a lot of information that those public comments that people mentioned, and I haven't seen any of that taken into account of what our voices were saying in regards to having transparency and making sure there's being infrastructure. We've talked about this over and over and over. We talked about planting trees, and it's just
the
a lot.
more you talk about things, the less time you have to do things.
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
We're talking and talking and talking. We're not doing. We have to get to the point where we're starting doing. And like I said, we visited the community center last week. We're going to have an intake center at the community center for residents who apply for the check valves. As we get closer to these things, there's going to be a lot of information that's going to be released. It makes no sense to release information if we don't have the information to release.
I believe you do have a lot of information. It's just not shared with us. We have to,
I
we have to
disagree
call
with
Metropolitan Water Commission. We have to call Cook County. It's just like we're chasing to get this information. And I can take what you all here suggested, that I go talk to a state rep and find out what is happening. But if you all know it too, why is it that it's not shared with us? It's nothing big, Tom. You know it. Why can't the information be shared with us? And basically, I'm sure you all know that flooding is the flooding happens on the north end of Cicero.
The flooding happens
Everywhere, yes.
Everywhere.
But not more at Cold Park than on the north end.
They have a different flooding issue.
But it's flooding.
In Cold Park.
Just say our voices seem like you keep calling people. If you want to, like you said, there's a couple of meetings coming up, but we don't. I mean, we're going to stand in line and you want to hear what I have to say, but nothing is done, as you just said. So I just really.
I don't think I said nothing's going to be done.
Yeah, less is done.
Oh, the more we're talking about
Yeah.
things. We need to do.
Well,
I'm an action type person.
So am I. So am I. It's just you're the one who can make the decisions. And our voices have not been heard at all.
As far as the $96 million though, the only decision that has been made has been that we are going to be putting in check valves to help the residents from flooding. And the only other decision that has been made has been about Somelis, to get Somelis done that the residents and everybody we're talking, we have green alleys, are going to be getting the green alleys.
Yeah, the decisions that
Those
were
are
made
the
are
only
the
two
types
decisions.
of projects that are going to get done. The locations of the projects, I don't have them. I'm waiting too for the stormwater master plan to be completed before we start mapping out potential areas for projects. We don't want to displace people. We don't want to.
But we are. A lot of us are going to displace.
And that leads to my concern with the state zoning code that's being proposed to even cover more of our permeable space with structures. With an antiquated old sewer system, you're not going to create
Combined sewer system.
You're not going to create decent affordable housing. You're going to create more problems. And
But I saw that also in CMAP with you all, about the bungalows. You don't have that study. You all have.
yeah, and
our
our recommendation was to not have accessory dwelling units and to not allow for basement conversions into apartments because we recognize that the risk of sewer backup is there. And if you don't watertight your basement, are you creating a decent space for someone to call their domicile? No, you're not. You're setting someone up for failure. And you're setting someone up to think that they're living in a decent, affordable unit. And the first time we get a torrential downpour and that family loses everything, was it an affordable unit? No.
And with climate crisis, we're already seeing things. I mean, it'll be more torrential. Even if you don't create those dwellings, we are going to continue going through the same thing with all the flooding.
But you mentioned the CMAP study. The CMAP study was for us one of their recommendations was going to be for us to allow for an easier path to get basement dwelling units as apartments. Yes, you can potentially create 5,000-6,000 additional apartment units, but are those actual safe dwelling units? Was our comment towards that. And that seems to be what the state zoning code is now pushing for, to allow these easier paths to create additional housing units, not only in basements, but to allow you to build a shed in your backyard and call it an accessory dwelling unit and move someone in. But now you covered that grass with another structure, with another roof, with another set of gutters that are going to be discharging water, displacing water that would normally permeate into the earth, is now adding additional stormwater into the combined storm sewer system. It's a complicated issue, and I've said this before. I've never thought about water so much as now, but it's hard to wrap your head around how complicated the issue is.
It is very complex. I don't disagree with that.
But most people think the water should go down the drain and go away from my house, and it
is a complex because 100 years without new infrastructure. But what I'm saying, and I'll keep saying, is that I don't have that study in front of me. I have it at home, but I have that study still. And what I'm saying is, if you bring community members onto the table, let us have these conversations together. It's very simple. I'm not asking for something that's
no, you're not.
That shouldn't. That's all I've been asking every time I come here. Is why don't you have open meetings with people from the community that keep flooding over and over and over and over. And they just leave because they're tired, but, you know, the system is, like you said, very complex. I'm aware of that. So I'm asking you all to please have us at the table. And we can invite other organizations how they're dealing with these issues, because there's a lot of, you know, west side of Chicago, right? They're dealing with it.
Yeah, well, we all are.
Mm-hmm. So,
That's part of the reason why we want everyone to come to the table also, so they don't make construction things that are adverse to the town of Cicero, where all the water ends up going through to get to the south of the canal. And that's what we're trying to hope I'm trying to hope that happens when they do this commission, maybe, is get everyone at the table, you sit down together, and you make joint decisions rather than one decision that's going to help, like we just said, Chicago in the Austin area, but it totally affects Cicero on our end. And that's why I said it like being a goof in a weird way, but if our Laramie Avenue sewer collapses on the north side of Roosevelt, it helps us, but it totally destroys Chicago. And that's why I said before in the past, I said it like a laugh, like, yeah, if it collapses there. The problem is when it collapsed years and years ago, and we had an issue with the sewer on Laramie that affects everybody else, the whole cost was burdened on Cicero, and is it really fair for our residents 20 years ago to have to fix a sewer that's also benefiting Chicago and other areas? So why do we have to burden it?
well, the Stickney plant itself, what is it, 200 and something million people it serves? I don't have it in
Yeah,
front
but
of
no,
me.
but I'm just saying the Laramie sewer that goes out,
And it's the largest wastewater facility in the world.
yes,
And it goes all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. So whatever discharges, that goes all the way to the Mississippi, and everybody dumps on Mississippi. And it goes all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. So that's why I said it's so important to have people, all, you know, other folks at the table. It is. I mean, it'd be an easier way to work together instead of kind of being defensive and not getting any answers and just, I don't know.
as far as projects, what we want to do, we didn't even make one yet. We have ideas in our head, but it doesn't mean it's going to be the best for that area. So we don't have an immediate project for this, immediate project for that.
It's just very frustrating.
I agree with you.
It's very frustrating. This whole, stormwater board meetings I still feel like community members are left out of this whole issues on, what is it? We went to the hearings. You heard our voices, Tom. And we've been left out of these other conversations. But anyhow, yeah, thank you. And that's just, I'm here again asking the board that we need other community members, that we're the most adverse impacted folks here in regards to with the Metropolitan Water Commission and the stormwater, the where ash stormwater is as Chicago. But I live here, so. But with the EJ principles is we should care about everybody, because once you start closing in the borders like they do now, what's going to happen to other people? We don't care. That's the environmental justice principle, is that we should care for all humanity. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was going to ask, we haven't completed the inspection of the sewer lines, have we?
No, we bid it out, and like I said earlier, we're well over a third of the way done. And as soon as they finish up with that, we're going to rebid the rest of it to start doing the south. We started at Roosevelt Road, and right now we're past in certain areas, past 26th Street, and we're basically up to 26th Street on the east side right now.
I had met with someone over the weekend, and they brought it up to me that they had noticed that there was sewer inspections going on, and I explained to them that we're inspecting, we're finding, we're curing, and it's helping with the flow. But they were impressed with the fact that they saw that visually going on in the town. And, I mean, that's a testament to that some people pay attention to these things.
And I know NICOR has been doing some cleaning and inspection of our sewers, because when they did that project, maybe about 10 years ago, they were putting in high-pressure gas lines, and they're doing an inspection, and part of it is the cleaning of the main sewers as they're putting the cameras through. If they find anywhere that's possibly been hit by their gas line in the process, they're getting a company out and they're doing the repairs also. Because they did hit a few of our main sewers. They hit a lot of house sewers also in the process, and they're out there right now. I think they were around from Austin to Lombard, and they were doing like 37th, or no, not 37, 38. They were doing a lot. They had some issues there. And like on Pershing Road, they hit a few on over there also, and they're over there working.
Just do want to say that we are moving forward, what I've been seeing here with this board, and everything has a timeline. A little over 2 years ago, Town of Cicero President Larry Dominic and Board of Trustees created this board. As far as I know, Town of Cicero is the only one, or the city or municipality that has created such a board, the Stormwater Management Advisory Committee. Second, backup sewer insurance is very important for homeowners and renters. I do see the accountability there. There has to be an accountability, and we need to speak about it too. Because when the loss comes, everybody, again, want everything fixed. But everything has consequences, good and bad, when you don't follow, codes. Like I just heard, basements, they're turned into apartments, and they're set to fail. So we do need to speak about that in the community too, and thank you, Cicero Independiente, for being here and putting this out there, because that's another way to speaking out to the community. It's very important that everybody knows. Another thing that I learned since I was a young individual, you seek and you shall find. So when there's a will, there's a way to attend these meetings. So excuses, you can't put excuses or hurdles or blockage. Everything is wanted when you want it. When you don't want it, situations happen. I would also like to start by thanking the Illinois State Representative Lisa Hernandez for sponsoring this, bill, which every bill in life and history has hurdles. Also, but they will get there slowly but surely. Also thanking Town of Cicero President Larry Dominic, Board of Trustees, to build something together with these municipalities, to partner up and start a solution with a situation that has been happening for over 50 plus years or even longer than that. The only way that we can get this going is don't point any fingers, the way I look at it when I talk to the board here. All we got to do is stick together, stronger together, and we can make this happen. But everything has a timeline. Everything takes time. But together we will do walk the walk, like I keep hearing. No talk the talk. I believe in walk the walk, and it's happening. We do have that grant, $96 million. I know some people have told me, well, it's there, but what happened? One thing we got to do is don't put fake news out there that they have the money here and no. Everything is a process. When it comes out to a grant, everything has to be aligned before it's released by the federal government. Nothing it's given. It's got to be processed, and it takes paperwork and documentation. And it will be done. We're so close, and this is where we need to be more together than ever. Can't be. I believe in don't point fingers. Let's just join, and we all can be a big community. And I do see on this side the advances that has been done, and now even bigger by making accountable the rest of the surrounding municipalities in the sense of working together. And then it will definitely be better. One day at a time. Thank you.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.